cloud to the cloud. So I want to welcome you to February 2025. Can we say OMG? I mean, every year I go, can you believe it's, and this time I'm like, yeah, I can believe it's 2025. And I got to tell you, I want to address something right at the top here because somebody, and God forgive me, I can't remember who, somebody posed a question to me about um, fear. Trying to turn on my heat, sorry. Somebody posed a question to me about fear and the state of the world and where we're going. And I think if I read between the lines, they were alluding to the current administration and where things are. I'm not here to talk politics. Believe me, gag me. I'm not going to talk about politics, but I am going to talk about fear. And I'm just going to start us off with this conversation. We can have a back and forth to the level that you guys are comfortable and want to have a back and forth, but I wanted to address fear. It's always the elephant in the room whenever we do anything, whenever we experience something new. I think it's our ego's way of kind of keeping us in check and anchoring us to something safe. Again, this is my 2 cents. Don't drink my Kool-Aid if it doesn't taste right to you. But here's what I know. If you are in any kind of fear, whether it's you've got something health-wise going on, or you've got fears about your future or where the world is going, and oh my God, the evil that's leading us, any kind of fear, if it is met with any fear from you, it's going to multiply within you. And then it's going to reverberate and it's going to go back into the ethers and the collective, and you're only going to get more of what you fear. Now, I'm not trying to say, oh, stop being afraid, get over it, because fear can be a good thing, right? Fear can keep us in a state of mind if we manage it correctly, where we are balanced with it. If I have a healthy fear of, falling off the tightrope when I'm walking across it, well, maybe I'll put a big net that's a little closer than normally I would. Like, sometimes fear is good. It can help us think in a different direction. What I'm referring to, and the question that was posted or posed to me, was all of this hate that's being spewed on social media. Number one, full disclosure, if it weren't for my group and my heart to reach as many people as possible, I would not be on social media. Now, having said that, I have a great deal of respect for most, if not all, of the people I've met on social media, because they've all taught me something. But like when I say to you, don't drink my Kool-Aid, I do not drink their Kool-Aid because it doesn't taste good to me. But I don't need to go on their page or in their face and say, your Kool-Aid sucks. It doesn't work with me. Why do I need to do that? I don't. I let them drink their Kool-Aid because it tastes good to them. Now, do I lead by being the example? Absolutely. And I had a client this morning. She did a spiritual direction session with me. And here's an example. She moved all the way across the country because her family was toxic and she was running away from the stories and the this. And guess what? Why do you think she's spiritual directing with me? Because the stories are following her. Everywhere you go, there you are. So, what version of you do you want to take into 2025? That's the question I would pose to you. Life is going to keep on lifing. There's the headline of the day. Life will keep on lifing. And shit will hit the fan and stuff will happen that we don't like. And guess what? If we, by the grace of God, have one more day to go on, I want to go on in a joyful, loving, respectful way. All right, I'm going to get off the soapbox, push it aside. Does anybody want to say anything on fear? Does anybody want to raise their hand and say, V, I respectfully say your Kool-Aid sucks? It's full right here. This is it. Let's have at it. Anybody got anything to say? Fear, state of the world. Anybody want to share? You can just unmute yourself. We're small enough here.
Where's
Oh,
the mute?
Hello.
there's Miss Gail. Miss Gail, I hear you.
Oh, good. So I don't know where the mute button is, but I guess it's unmuted.
You got it, girl.
Feelings are feelings, and they will come up. Whether one gets attached to them or not is another thing. But if you feel fear because it came up, you feel fear
You feel fear.
until you don't. Um, Buying into it is probably a whole other thing, but I I firmly believe that when feelings come up, they need to be felt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because it's repressed energy, right?
Right.
And furthermore, try this on. See if this fits. Feelings are the language of the soul. The soul talks to us through our feelings. Our body will never lie to us. Our body processes our feelings, right? I get a gut feeling. I just have a tightness in my chest about them. The hair on the back of my neck is standing up. Our body talks to us. So, thank you, Gail. And that's the to that point. Never repress what you're feeling. And then the other thing to that is even if you have to jot it down, right? She said to me her coworkers really annoy her. Well, if you're on a Zoom meeting and you got a pen and a paper over here and you're thinking, fuck you, Bob, but you can't say fuck you, Bob, because that's just not nice and we don't do those things. You write, fuck you, Bob. And then you go process it or you do what you need to do. I am not a proponent of holding energy in. God knows I'm not a proponent of that. So, all right, thank you for that, which is a nice segue into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the chakra system. And I'm going to promise you, I'm going to try to promise you. I'm going to tell you that what you're going to learn today is probably different than anything you've ever learned. There may be some similarities in it, but a lot of what's given to me for at least the first 6 months of the year that was outlined was downloaded to me. And I got the download and I got the prescription. And then I go, how am I going to teach this? Like, because no, there's no Google for this. You don't reference it. So on a wing and a prayer, and with the direction of the divine, I'm going to present to you some new learning. If in fact you've ever learned this way, please do tell me. I'd love to hear the source, okay? And perhaps credit them if need be, in addition to the divine. All right, you all got or hopefully saw the drawings in the Facebook group. Did you see them? The outline. Yes, Holly's got them there. Yes, those are the ones. Okay, perfect. Karen's got them. If you do not have them, okay, I'll hold them up on here. I'll share my screen. I'm sorry, my nose is all running. I think my husband tried to kill me. Our fireplace was backing up in the house. I came out of my office and I was like hit by a gaggle of smoke. Let me share my screen. This is the current, or this is one of them. Now, if this is going to be a hardship for you to print these out because of printer ink or not having a printer, that's fine. Use your creativity. Draw the physical outline, make it a rough outline, write your circles down, put your little dotted lines, and make your own. Here's the other one we have. This is going to be something that you can also draw. I wanted to give you a reference point, okay? You're going to work with color on these, and that's going to be your homework. But for now, we're going to start out with an exercise using this girl right here. And again, if you don't have her, draw her to the best of your ability. Remember, part of what we do here is creativity. Listen, if you want to draw her as a stick figure, that's fine. Just draw her, make sure your chakras are in kind of relatively the right place, and we're going to go from there. Now, if you like to, and it's helpful for you to keep your things in order, draw little lines out from each chakra. Like you put the crown, draw a little line, put the third eye, draw a little line, because you're going to write little statements on there. Okay? I'm going to tell you what those are. Give you a minute. So this is part of what we're going to call our chakra map. So I want you to take time, have fun with this, be as creative as you need to be. This can be your template going forward, or you can create a new outline every time we use it. And if you're not feeling inspired or creative in this moment, don't be hard on yourself. Just write root and draw a line. I want to meet you in the space you're at. And if you have questions about the process in the interim, you can unmute yourself or raise your hand. What we're going to do with this exercise is get a baseline of where we're at and where potentially we could work throughout our week. Oh, am I breaking up for others? Am I going in and out? Okay. Holly says I'm freezing. All right. It is cold here, Holly. Oh, you mean my computer. All right. I should in a past life I was like on vaudeville or something, or that Henny Youngman. Why did I just see a cane grabbing you off stage, Barbara, by the throat? Exit stage left. Here we go. All right. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a chakra assessment. We're going to do some revealing here. We're going to see what we don't logically know. We're just going to dump it out. The only criteria to this is that you don't overthink it. Once we're done with this, I'm going to tie it all together to you as I go into the lesson. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm going to read some statements. There's 3 of them. You are intuitively going to pick the one that you want to write on the dotted line. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to go to the root. And I'm going to read the 3 statements, and I will go slow, and I will repeat them twice or as much as I need to. But you're going to write the one down that really goes, okay, that's the one. You ready? Do I feel safe, stable, and grounded in my life? How is my relationship with money, home, and security? Do I trust in life's process? Now, you can write all 3 of those down, or you can write the one that hits you. I would suggest the one that has the punch. Okay, I'll read them one more time. Do I feel safe, stable, and grounded in my life? How is my relationship with money, home, and security? Do I trust in life's process? We're going to go to the sacral. If anybody needs more time, just raise your hand or speak up. The sacral questions are, do I embrace pleasure, joy, and creativity regularly? How is my relationship with emotions and intimacy? Do I allow myself to express passion? Do I embrace pleasure, joy, and creativity? How is my relationship with emotions and intimacy? Do I allow myself to express passion? We're not analyzing these. We're just kind of letting it float in, Think of it as it's coming in on a cloud, and the one that's meant to stay with you kind of drops in the body, and you just kind of feel it. You just kind of know in your gut, your heart. The next one is the solar plexus. Do I feel confident in myself and my abilities? Am I in control of my personal power and decisions? Do I feel motivated and worthy? Do I feel confident in myself and my abilities? Am I in control of my personal power and decisions? Do I feel motivated and worthy? And I
Can you
will give
repeat
you the
the
sheet.
first?
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Can you repeat the?
The first one, do I feel confident in myself and my abilities? I will put this sheet in the group or in the back end in the library for you, so you'll have this sheet. Okay. Next one is the heart. Do I give and receive love freely? How open am I to deep connections with others? Do I forgive myself and others easily? Do I give and receive love freely? How open am I to deep connection with others? Do I forgive myself and others easily? On to the throat. Do I communicate my truth clearly and honestly? Am I comfortable expressing my needs and emotions? Do I listen to my inner voice? Do I communicate my truth clearly and honestly? Am I comfortable expressing my needs and emotions? Do I listen to my inner voice? Third eye. Do I trust my intuition and my inner wisdom? How connected do I feel to my inner vision? Do I seek deeper meaning in life? Do I trust my intuition and wisdom? How connected do I feel to my inner vision? Do I seek deeper meaning in life? I'm going to put the last three in the chat for Holly if she comes back, but those of you that might want to say them, you can also go in there. The last one is the crown. Do I feel connected to a higher power or universal wisdom? Am I open to spiritual growth and expansion? Do I see the bigger picture of my life's purpose? Do I feel connected to a higher power or universal wisdom? Am I open to spiritual growth and expansion? Do I see the bigger picture of my life's purpose? So I want you to look at what you've written down. Maybe you've written all three of them. That's fine. Or maybe you did just do the one that dropped in the hardest. Sasha, what did you do?
On all of them?
Yeah, yeah. What did you start with? Like, let's start with the root.
How is my relationship with money, home, and relationships?
Okay. And actually, the last word is security. How is my home with my
Oh,
relationship with money, home, and security?
security. Okay.
So that's the center, that's the root chakra. Did you write them all down or just one?
Mm-mm. Just one for each.
Okay, so how is my relationship with money, home, and security? Everybody, did anybody write all three down? I just want to start with that. Okay, Karen did, Barbara did. Okay, thank you, Sasha. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the one you've written down, you're going to see on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most aligned, how in alignment are you living with that statement? Meaning, if you wrote, how is my relationship with money, home, and security? Well, it's a 10. I got my stuff together. We're living all in alignment. We're doing, or it's a 6, or it's a 5. I want you to notice energetically where you are and just really feel into the root and of this chakra because we're working with the first one. Holly, I posted the last 3 questions in the chat for you. So I want you to rate what you've written down on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most, 1 being not really at all. So go through the chakras and do all of that rating. This is going to tell it, this is where we begin our work. This is our map.
Hey, V.
Hi, Meg.
Hi. Um, I didn't write down the questions. I just answered each of the questions next to the chakras.
Okay, do you have access to the chat? Can you see it?
I'm looking at everybody, yeah.
Okay, can you see the little chat box on the side? Probably, are you on your phone?
No, I'm on a tablet.
Oh, okay. Do you not want us to see you?
I do. Do I need to turn on a video, start video?
Yep.
So V, that in the chat, is that for crown or third eye?
That's for the end. That's for the crown.
For the crown. What were the questions for the third eye?
Yep, I'll put that in there right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the all the questions because like I
Yep.
said, I answered yes or how much for each one. I didn't write down the questions themselves.
That's
Oh,
okay.
there we go.
What I'm gonna do you see it?
I did for a second.
These are gonna go in the group. So they're gonna be in Facebook as soon as we're off the call. They're gonna be posted in Facebook, so you'll see
Okay.
them. And this is actually what is gonna be our chakra map. So once we get this understood, we'll do this, we'll replicate this, we'll go through these so that we can get a sense of our energetic being. So you're not gonna miss anything. But thank you for letting me know that. All right. Okay. So I want you all, once you've gone through all of your questions and you've given it a number, let me know. Just show me your hand if you've got a number for it. Holly, did you have more questions?
Yeah, what's the number part?
So under each chakra, we have the 3 questions. You only wrote 1 down, probably. So you're going to say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most aligned and 1 being not really aligned at all, what's the number you assign to that question?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
On the crown,
Mm-hmm.
do I see the bigger, I resonated with, do I see the bigger picture of my life's purpose? I feel very connected to that, but I don't see, I don't see the picture.
So that would be a 1, right?
It
That
would,
would be a 1 because
even though I
Yep.
feel it's very important.
Yep, because the question is the initial pull, right? There's intuitively and I'm going to show you the correlation to intuition and why we're doing what we're doing here. There was an initial pull, maybe you didn't know why, but you knew that hit something, right? So that's why I wanted you to write it down. But in further searching it, you're like, I don't know, I don't got any idea. And so that's going to be a 1. This is our starting place. This is the place from which we start to do our work on our chakras, right? Does anybody else need clarification? Because, this can be a bit confusing. Karen.
So,
Maybe I should just say what I did when you, as legal secretary, I write everything down in shorthand. That's why I wrote down all of the stuff you said.
Okay.
When we went through all of the chakras, I picked the one statement that meant the most to me. You said, don't overthink it. I didn't. I picked what made sense to me. And
Perfect.
then what I did was I went through and I picked how many I picked the number 1 statement for, which was 3. Number 2, I didn't pick any number 2s. And for number 3, I picked 4. That's the way I lined it up, but it doesn't sound like that's what you're looking for.
Nope. Listen to me. I'm giving you a template here. So we will look at, what do you mean you picked 4? There was only 3 questions.
For the chakras, I
Oh.
picked number 3, the last statement is what meant the most to me for that particular chakra.
Yeah, that's fine. And here's the thing. You're gonna meet this where you're at. You're gonna work with it in a way. I'm delivering the information to you so that you can get a baseline of where you're at. If you understand it this way, do it that way. You're gonna ask a question based on the way you're doing it, but if you're out of sync with the rest of us, but that's okay. I want you to own the way that it feels right to you. Bottom line is this. We want a balanced energy system, right? A balanced energy system is all cylinders are firing on 10, right? That's our ultimate goal here, okay? And to know all cylinders are firing on 10, these areas the root covers security, family, being grounded, all of those things. The next area are financials. The next area is our relationships. So we're getting a look at the whole body energetically. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
so I just have a quick question.
Yep, go ahead.
So, rating them, what I did is the ones that I've got handled, I rated them a 1, and the things that are kind of a reach for me, I labeled those a 3. Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine. Listen, 10 is the best. I got this figured out. I'm a 10. I got no clue like Gail over here. She's a 1. There's no judgment. So wherever you're at, if you got a question, how my relationship with my emotions and how is my relationship with my emotion and my intimacy, and you got a 3, it's a 3. If it's a 1, it's a 1. Just know the scale is 1 is not so good, and 10 is off the charts good. Okay? I don't want you to overthink this. So I'll come back. And if anybody needs personal work with this, hit me up in the group and we'll go back and forth in chat and we'll work through it until you get it. All right. So now we're going to go into the teaching part of this. This was the exercise. This was the warm up. So what I want you to understand, or how I want to teach this to you, is that how can I say this? At the end of the day, the reason that I created this group is so that you will all never need me or another intuitive ever again in your life, because you are going to be so plugged in, so tuned in, and so able to read both for yourself and for others. Whatever you do with that is your business, and you'll be able to connect to the other side. But I don't believe that you can do that without first understanding yourself. And I liken it to this. If I want to communicate with my spirit guides, but I can't communicate with the family and the members and the community around me in physical reality, how the hell am I going to communicate with the spirit guides? Because they're no different. If I'm an angry communicator and I can't talk to anybody without getting pissed off about something or feeling weepy or feeling victimy or feeling like this is my fault, how am I going to do that on the other side? I'm not. So it's that simple. I want you to know you. And then ultimately, a byproduct of that is you're having fluid, consistent, clear communication, whatever that means to you. Okay. So this is not a typical chakra class, okay? I'm offering you an opportunity to see your energy centers as conduits, sensors, receptors for your intuition. These receptors are your connection to divine truth. You are plugged in, ready to receive. Imagine that off of the heart chakra, there's these little fibers, these little tentacles, and they're like energies and they're reaching out, and everything that's flowing in and filling them is leaving imprints on these little tentacles, okay? Your chakras are the sensors for intuition. They are informers. I want you to call your chakras the informer. Think muscle, think mob, think these are the informers. They're here to inform you, right? They have a lot of power. They inform your physical body of its level of energy and its level of balance. They inform your spiritual body of its intuitive conversations and hits. They inform your mental body that messages that are waiting to be downloaded enter in through here as feelings. The mental body is often the foggiest. It's layered with, guess what? Limiting beliefs that could drive out the divine communication. Oh, I want to be an intuitive reader. I want to practice where I help people and I can read cards. But you come from a long line of naysayers and religious propaganda that says, no, you're the devil if you do that. What's going to happen? The mental body is not going to receive the divine wisdom, the crown, that it needs to fuel the journey deeper. So working through these limiting beliefs is where we start with these questions that I put forward. That's the connection there. When all three of these areas are informed equally, we are at our prime for receiving. I have said before, when I showed you at the beginning the inverted pyramid, and if those of you that are new, if you don't know what the inverted pyramid is, tag me in the group or reach out to me in the group. I'll direct you to where it is. I'll show you where the video is and you go learn about the inverted pyramid. Essentially, just summing it up very quickly, Spirit downloaded to me that our life lessons, our soul purpose, all of that stuff, our contract work is in our lower three chakras. It's contained there. They are the densest. They deal with earthly situations, our family, our money, our relationship, our self-worth. You get up here and it gets a little woo-woo, a little airy, right? And then you get here and it gets a little more, and it's like where's the tangible, right? Like these tangible three chakras, the lower three chakras, have the most tangible evidence for us. And so when we think about the lower three, and working through balancing, essentially we want to balance those lower three, but we want everything to be in harmony. Does that make sense to everyone? Everybody get that? So here are what some symptoms of misalignment look like. Now, I have to say, full disclosure, I have a problem when people say my chakras are blocked. It's probably just the language that irritates me, because to say something's blocked indicates that it's something out of your control. Like, oh, my chakra's blocked. I must not have cleansed my third eye right. Like, everything is within your control. If your chakras are fuzzy and messed up and you're not balanced, this is a job for you. We're not going to call Superman in and it's a job for him. This is a job for you. And we're going to work through that. So some symptoms of misalignment, okay? If your physical body is out of alignment, you're tired, you're lethargic, you've got aches, you've got pains. Now, I'm not saying stuff, I'm 62, I got my aches and pains. In fact, here's a fun fact for you. I fell off my couch yesterday. I had the baby in my arms. I had the 4-year-old getting mad at me because I was tangled up in his iPad cord. And when I went to get up with the baby, my ankle didn't want to go. It had the iPad cord wrapped around it. I fell down. I would show you my legs, but you would be in horror. I hit a toy xylophone. My 4-year-old went nuts because I broke his xylophone. Never mind, I can't get up. The baby's on the ground and I'm bleeding profusely out my knees. Okay? That's physical pain. I'm not going to tell you my chakras are out of whack in my physical body because my shins hurt. So be discerning with this is my point. Lethargy, aches, pains. I got no energy. I'm exhausted. I just can't. Okay? Disclaimer. Are you depressed? I'm not a clinician. I'm not a clinical psychologist. God knows I love them. Spent 25 years and thousands of dollars to them, but I'm not one of them. So can I diagnose your depression? I'm telling you this on a level that is energetic. You need to determine with your clinician if you are depressed on a clinical level, okay? Spiritual, if there is a misinformed or your spiritual body isn't informed, you are experiencing a lack of creativity. You are overly emotional. You fear being vulnerable. And maybe, just maybe, money runs through your fingers like it's water. You can't hold it, or you hold it too tight. Think about that. Mentally, is my mental body fully informed? Well, maybe it's misaligned. It's not getting its information correctly. I worry chronically. I can't stop worrying. I have a lot of self-doubt. And boy, do I hold grudges. Now, this is not the end-all be-all. This is a little guide for you. If I said something here and you go, oh, wait, what about this? Write that down, because maybe you have your own symptom. Anybody get anything that I didn't list here? Did anything resonate with anyone, as in these are the symptoms of misalignment? Okay. Okay. So why do we need to be aware of our energy? Energy, because when we're aware of our energy, we understand how we show up. And guess what? This is a powerful statement. I promise you, and I will promise you this. You will always get met with the energy that you bring to the situation. It may not be right away, because you may walk into a room and there's like a begrudging, right? And you walk in that room and you're like, hey, how are you today? And he's like, right? You need to know that you staying in the highest vibration, because you've worked on it, is going to impact that, whatever you want to call him, crusty old man, okay? I've seen it. I've seen it work 1,000 times. Our natural inclination, we're wired like water seeks the lowest point. We are, for some reason, wired to go down. A 10 walks in the room and the husband's a 2. Guess what? The husband's bringing the 10 down to a 2. I disagree with that. But it is the way it is more often than not. I bop in the door. I'm excited. I'm happy from work. And here's, I didn't have a good day. Oh, let's commiserate, right? Or a girlfriend calls us up. Hey, I'm feeling real. And prior to that, you were like, oh man, I just talked to God. I got the best download. And it's like, oh, okay. You are responsible for your own energy. And here's the thing. Do we live in a messed up world? Hell yeah. Okay. Since the beginning of time, I'm really into studying Jesus. Okay. I'm looking at the life, theological, yes, but the whole energy and history of the time. There's always been this kind of stuff. It's more sophisticated because we're more sophisticated, but there's always been good and bad and right and wrong, right? Understanding the healing aspect of the collective doesn't start over there with policies and procedures, and it starts right here with what's in your heart. And I will go to my deathbed proclaiming that. And I want you to take that very seriously, because the next time somebody does something to you, whether it's they cut you off in traffic or they stole your wallet or they stole your man, I want you to really think about what you're processing. Because your initial reaction, you steal my man, I'm probably going to be pissed off, right? Or maybe I'm going to say, good luck. But I'm probably going to go to a space where I feel sorry for myself. I have all these emotions. But the reality is, it's my job to get that right. It's not his job to fix me. Okay? So your emotions, your being in touch with your energy and working with the chakras in the way that we're going to work with them, it allows you to navigate with more clarity, more intention, and a deeper level of intuition. Your emotions have energetic signatures. Just like each cell is its thing, your emotions are charged in just such a unique way. Recognizing when your energy is off, when you shift out of anxiety and frustration before they get a chance to live, take up space in your cells and your chakras, or let me back that up, your chakra and then your cells, is going to be imperative to your well-being. Tuning into your energetic patterns, you can come to the place where you can start to sense, be intuitive about what's going to push your button. Maybe you don't know it, but Aunt Carol comes in, and every time you're around Aunt Carol, something, but you don't know what it is. But by being aware of your energetic patterns and reaction to Aunt Carol, you may come to some learning about yourself, right? The stronger the intuition and decision making becomes. Intuition is energetic language. When you heighten your energetic awareness, as I said, your chakras are receptors. You start to recognize when something is misaligned or something is aligned. Personal boundaries, your energy. When you sense somebody's energy is uplifting or draining. Yep, you're not coming in here today because your energy's sucking. You ain't going to suck the life out of me, right? Get your boundaries in order. How many times have you said, they deplete me, this doesn't feel good, but then you go right on to continue on a relationship with them? Making what, right? Excuses. So I want you to look at your excuses that you're making, and I want to ask you this serious question. Are you making excuses for them, or are you making excuses for yourself? Because if you see what they are and you know it and it's truth, I do see myself freezing, Holly, and you see it and it's truth, and you're making excuses and you discern it's not for them, it's for me, you have your power back. Because when you make excuses for them, you're allowing them in your energetic field to bastardize what's happening in your life. You're not doing anybody any favors. And if you're making excuses because, oh, if I talk to Aunt Carol, she's going to get upset and all right, she's going to get upset, but what's the further truth of that? Oh, then she's not going to talk to me. And I really want Aunt Carol to talk to me because she's close to the end and I really want her stuff when she goes. I don't know, whatever your agenda is, I want you to be truthful about what the hell you're doing. Because if you're making excuses for yourself, chances are you're afraid to look into the truth of who you are. Now, if you're being nice to Aunt Carol because she's got one foot in the grave and you want her stuff, you got a whole lot of work to do there, right? Maybe you're being nice to Aunt Carol because you're supposed to be nice to Aunt Carol. It says who? This is all about recognizing who you are. Can you all see that the more you know yourself, the easier you will communicate with guides, angels, deceased loved ones? Do you get that? Do you understand that? Because if you don't have a succinct communication with yourself, energetic and otherwise, you ain't got a shot in hell with the other side. It's just not going to happen. And people are selling you all this stuff like, oh, your chakras are blocked. But what are you going to do about it? Go stand in the rain and chant under a tree. That's fine, and it may work. But let's get to the grit of it. Personal boundary, manifestation, law of attraction. Here's the other thing. Well, how can I get that car that I want? And geez, I really want to make $1 million this year. Well, your energy is a magnet. I'm going to show you. So I feel like a magician here. I don't have a rabbit though. I promise I don't have. I'm scared of a rabbit. I don't want him to bite me. So I've got magnets here. See my magnets? Ooh, these are freaking powerful magnets. This is what I do the emotion code work with. Like I can't even get them apart. So look, they like each other, right? Here comes Aunt Carol. Woo, Aunt Carol, she's a bitch. Here's your bitch. Wait, I can't get my camera. Here she comes. But Aunt Carol, I'm going to match Aunt Carol today because, oh, you're supposed to. Now, here we go. Let's do this. So we turn them. I can't even get them apart. So we turn them this way. And at some point, they repel. There's a repelling that happens, right? They'll eventually go, but I feel a resistance in it. And so you want to understand, like attracts like. If you go like this, I want to earn $100,000 this year. I want $100,000 to pay off my debt. And you sit there and you write it down, and then you go, oh, what do I got to eat? And you go in and you look around, and you forgot about the $100,000, right? But you're going to go and you're going to go, oh man, oh wow, how much did I pay for that Coke? And oh my God, Jesus Christ, groceries are so expensive, and you're just feeding your head with all of this negative energy about money. Like attracts like. You want $100,000, lady? Well, you better act like you want $100,000. I'm not telling you it's easy. Because if it were easy, we'd all be walking around millionaires, right? We'd all have Mercedes or whatever the hell car choices in the driveway. Or whatever else we value, right? So becoming energy aware helps shift you from a mindset of scarcity. This goes back to the mental chatter, the mindset of scarcity and lack. Okay? Physical health and vitality, chronic stress, negative feelings, backed up energy. When our energy was, and this, I'm not going to go into this because quite frankly, I don't understand it enough, but I want to study it. The energy of the meridians that flow through the body. Right? I want to come into a space where I'm flowing, my meridians are feeding the organs, and everything in the organs, it's all going out and it's feeding the cells, and I'm healthy. That's what I want. That's what I want for all of us. So how do you do this? We're going to work with your chakra drawing, but we're going to check in regularly with ourselves every day. And you're going to look at, how's my energy right now? Now you can use those 3 questions, or we can come up with questions of the day, or maybe you have your own question for the chakra, but you're going to check in regularly. You're going to observe shifts in your body. Are my shoulders tight? Is my chest heavy? What's happening? My throat feels closed off. God, my head's banging. Notice it, observe it, make note of it. Once you make note of, you have a physical, I had a, what do we call it? Acid reflux. It was in the stomach and then it was in the chest. And I was like, oh, this, and I could have said, well, I ate a steak sandwich last night, maybe that today, but I stopped. Right as I was popping my Tums, I stopped because yes, it's a physical reality. I stopped and I went, okay, I did, this is what I ate last night. I became aware of it. I don't think that had anything to do with broccoli. Maybe broccoli's a little, and then I went into this thing and then I went, oh, I know what it is. And because I was informed, it dropped in as a thought, as a message, and I knew what was trying to be revealed to me. And it had to do with a personal family situation where I needed to say something, but I didn't know how to say it. And so it was backing up on me. It was in my solar plexus because it had to do with, oh, if I say this, they're not going to really like to hear that. And guess what? Here I am. I want you to start to be that clear about what your body's doing to you and what you're doing to your body and for your body. And our chakra maps are going to help us. So I want you to clear your energy fields. How do we do that? Well, whatever you do. If you have a thing and you have a ritual and you like it, here's me. I go outside and I stand under a tree. I bring the sunshine when there is. I bring the sunshine down on me. Snow, I let the snow fall on me. I touch my hands on the ice. I connect to Mama Earth. If you physically can't get out in Mama Earth, go in your mind's eye. Look at a picture on the internet. Put yourself there. And lastly, protect your own energy. You are your own guard of your energy. Surround yourself with light. Put yourself in a lipstick tube. Put up your boundaries. Maybe you want an electric fence. If anybody gets too close, you're going to zap them. I don't know. And energy awareness isn't necessarily about feeling good. It's about becoming the conscious creator that you were born to be. And if you want a heightened level of intuition, you have got to learn to tune into these chakras. They are that important, okay? Chakras are seats of energy. They're hubs of information. And to be clear and grounded, you have got to understand it begins within the three spaces that we talked about, the physical, the spiritual, and the mental. If you don't understand the correlation right yet, that's okay. We have a part 2 to this. And next time when we come back, we're going to talk about the chakras and intuition a little bit more in detail. But right now, we're going to stop and we're going to talk about the graphic or the class. I need to know if anybody has any questions, anybody want to make any comments. Maybe somebody has some guidance to offer or insight they want to share or questions. Anybody? Beth.
Sorry, that took a while. My question is there a hierarchy to the chakras? Like, if you're like you mentioned that the root, the first 3 below the heart, are a little denser and maybe have to do more with human energy levels. So is there a hierarchy? So if you're out of whack with those, to work on those first and then gradually move up to the crown? Or...
Absolutely. But I'll tell you why. And this is the image I just got that received, that spirit sent in to me. I saw myself being built, okay? And I saw a cinder block or a stage for a foundation, right? Got to get something sturdy to stand on, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
once I get up on that stand, then I'm good because everything else packs on, piles on the stand. If it were me in my journey, I would start with the root, but I'm going to tell you, you have 7 chakras and you have 7 days. Each day you are going to work with one of the chakras. I don't care where you start. But I just said to you, starting at the root might be something that would give you a strong foundation to build on. Okay. Now, maybe you only came to this class because you're a great intuitive and you receive and you know what you're doing, but maybe you're Gail and maybe you're just going, hey, I just want to know why I'm here. I only want to know my purpose. And so Gail's going to go, well, I got all my shit together. I know all the others. I'm going to start at the root. I'm going to work through this question at the root. So you're coming in wherever you're coming in at. Most of us probably want the whole enchilada. We probably want to know the recipe from the ground up, right? You know, if I tell you to go make, go make dinner, Beth, and here's a recipe, but I leave half the ingredients out and I don't tell you you have to brown the meat first and you got to do this, you're going to be fumbling. So in order to make the recipe, you have to start with having the basic ingredients, and that's where I would go with the root. Does that make sense?
Yep. Thank you.
How does that feel to you, though? Does starting at the root feel right?
I'm trying to get out of my head. So I'm trying to look at it logically, and I feel like I should be looking at it.
All right, you want to get out of your head? Here, do this. Pinch the skin on the back of your hand. Just pinch it. Pinch it, pinch it, pinch it. Now slap it. Hard. Just hit it hard. Okay. Now, you're here, you're down in your hand, you're down in your hand, you're down in your hand. Where do you want to start, Beth? Hurry up, answer.
Root.
The brain, I won't get into this because I don't know enough to speak intelligently about it, but I do know the brain will always lead us where it knows the Rolodex, but it gets confused. And so when we shoot something in there, like a slap on the hand or a pinch of the skin, intuition can seep right in there and it can inform us. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions about the homework?
I do.
Who said I do?
Gail.
Gail, and then Christine, I'll be right over.
I don't know how to, like, I definitely need work mostly on 1, 2, and 3. But I don't know how to work on those. When you
Well-
say work on, I don't know what that means. I don't know how that looks.
Great question. The questions that I gave you, did you write them down?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to answer those questions and you're going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the, yes, I got this. 1 being, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. 5 being, yeah, all right. You're going to rate where you are. And then once you figure out what you need off of that rating system, if you're a 10 and it's not working in as a 10, I'm going to go back to my drawing here for a minute. If it's not working out as a 10, do I feel safe and stable and grounded in my life? Let's say we start there and you're like, well, that's a 2. And then you're going to go, and this is great because I don't think I'd said this part. So thank you for filling me in on this. If you're a 2 over here, do I feel safe, stable, and grounded in my life? And you're a 2, you're going to go deeper and you're going to go, what doesn't feel? You're going to ask the what questions, not the how. Because the how will be downloaded to you through your intuition. So, do I feel safe, stable, and grounded in life? What do I need to feel safe, stable, and grounded in life? What feels ungrounded to me in life? How is my relationship with money, home, and security? Oh, that's a 1. What feels more out of alignment? My money, my home, or my security? There is really no right way to work with these. These are questions that want to be answered, and you will start answering them with your intellect because you'll have to. It's your intellect. But then once you get down the road of understanding how to work with this, which we haven't practiced it yet, you will begin to flow in your intuition when it comes to answering. Always ask the what questions. Make sense? And listen, there is no shame in posting in the Facebook group going, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I pay a business coach a hell of a lot of money. And you know what? You know how many I don't know what the hell I'm doing questions she gets from me? She gets enough questions to keep me as her only client, okay? Because I ask questions. It's how we learn. Christine.
Yeah, basically, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Well, what the hell? I forgot to tell you. Okay. So
I mean,
so
it
you
makes sense to ask the questions, but then, I mean, like, do I meditate while doing this? Am I walking through my day and all of a sudden I get choked up and I stop and what am I doing?
okay, how do you receive? When you receive intuitive guidance, how do you usually get it? What are you doing when you get it?
Either what I do with it or how do I get it?
Both. No, how do you get it and what are you doing when you receive it?
I usually get it by either a thought or a warm sensation.
Okay. So, give me a question that you had as a low number. What's
Do I feel confident in my abilities?
okay, do I feel confident in my abilities? Okay, so you sit down. That's the energy of the chakra we're on day whatever it is, and then you're going to go, do I feel confident in my abilities? Okay, well, that clocks in at about a 4 today. Okay, what area do I not feel confident? What abilities am I not confident in? Okay, ask the question. Intuition, if you give it space and time, comes in instantaneously. So get your pen and paper. Maybe you're sitting at the kitchen table having coffee. Maybe you're doing the dishes and you're going to have your pen and paper right there and you're going to ask the question and you're going to, oh, there it is. Maybe you're going to get a symbol. Maybe you're going to get an image. But I guarantee you, the minute you say, I'm in intuitive mode here doing this work, you're going to get something. And if you don't, to be continued, because this is what we're practicing. To be continued. Let's pick this up. You know, I hate the phrase, let's circle back to this. All right, circle back to it. Whatever your language is. Karen.
2 things I want to say. First of all, I didn't realize when we were listening to the 3 statements that I was supposed to kind of like judge all 3 of them. I thought I was just supposed to pick the one that made the most impact on me.
Yep,
Okay.
that was what you're doing. But then we're going to go into all 3. That hence the group post where I'm going to put them all in.
Okay. So I like the I statements that go along with these chakras. I know, I see, I speak. Those help me.
Yep, I'll put those in there too.
And then when I got my last spiritual download, I was standing next to my Keurig and I didn't know I was going to get it. He said, Karen, my child, I am proud of you. So I thought that it is I, your God.
Now.
Okay, period, end of report.
That's perfect. So you received. Now let's pair it with the physical body. Let's intentionally bring in information. Right? So that when we go out in the world and somebody says, hey, do you want to partner with me on this? I think this would be a great investment for you. And right away, bells go off in your head and your heart constricts and your hair on the back of your neck stands up and you're not going to go, yeah, Bob, let me think about that for a little bit. Or if you do say, let me think about it, just say, look, I'm inclined to say no, but I'm willing to step back and think about it. These are reasons to be empowered with your energy. Everybody make sense for everybody? All right. Sasha, you okay? You're not lost, are you?
No, I'm not lost on the questions, but I was thinking about something that you said earlier. So when I go out of my house, whether I'm running errands, I'm showing houses, I'm going to a class. And I don't know why this happens, but when I come home, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel drained. And I have to go lay down for like 10 minutes. Literally, I'll take a nap, I'll fall asleep for a minute and I'll wake up and I'm fine. So I'm like, is there something I need to be doing to maybe shielding myself more? Or it's just I'm an empath and I'm picking up on a lot of emotions.
Well, I think we are all empaths. There's varying degrees, right? Like we could all sit down and chomp away on the piano. Some of us are going to play it better, worse than others, but we are all empaths. So yes, you are picking up on others' energy, other people's energies. But here's the thing, when it's out and about in the world, be specific with the situations. So next time you're showing a house, or I want you to come home or get in your car or record on your phone This was my experience with this situation. This is what I felt in that house. This is what these people made me feel. Look at the external stuff around you and see if you can pinpoint a common denominator.
Okay.
Because maybe you're showing the wrong people the right house. And maybe there's an indication in there that they're not going to buy from you, but they're going to drive you nuts. I'm just making that up. I don't know. But do you see what I'm saying? So each specific situation requires a little examination. Living awake and living spiritually, it's not easy. It's not. Do you think I like knowing I walk into places and I can feel people's energy and I'm like, oh man, you're an asshole. But guess what? I signed the contract. I got to do this with you. And so we're going to make the best of it. I'm going to bring my joy in, and not fake joy. I'm really going to bring my joy in because I actually walk the talk. It's not easy. Make sense? All right, Meg, are you lost?
No, but on the empath situation, I think a lot of times with that, my problem with empathy is I feel 1,000%. And I don't know whose feelings I'm feeling.
That's beautiful. This, my dear, is why you are creating self-awareness. And here's the thing, and I could be way off base with this. Meg, are you a fixer?
I got to fix everything and everybody
Yeah, you
so
do.
they'll be happy.
And then Meg, you are in the right place, Meg. Listen, I can't tell you how in the right place you are, okay? Learning these little bitty things about you is going to make a stronger version of Meg. Because Meg, guess what? You are far from done when it comes to healing the world. But how about if you could heal the world with a healed Meg?
Yeah, and that's funny because, you know, I wrote down, you said spiritual, mental, and emotional, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wrote down Veronica spiritual, and I wrote down Sandy, who's my therapist for mental.
Yep.
And I've been looking into emotional support for my grief for my mom and my son.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Look at one more category, physical.
Yeah, that's also something that I have.
The physical. Yep.
Yeah, I had put on a lot of weight when my mom got really sick,
Yeah.
and I've been hard on myself. So I've been thinking that I just need to get through the seasonal depression parts and get more physical when I work on this a little bit more.
And that's exactly the right thing to do. And listen, being physically well doesn't look like a certain body type or equal a certain amount on the scale, or, you know, every night I eat 3 little pieces of chocolate. Every night. Every night. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
you can have, it's called balance.
Right.
Right? So Meg, number 1, do this work. I promise you, you're in the right place. And I want you to pop in the group with questions. We're all here to support you. Every person has your back, Meg. We all got each other's back. Okay? We're all here for each other. All right?
I need it.
Thank you, sweetheart. I just want to tell those of you, Meg's been dancing around joining us for a very long time. So Meg finally pulled the trigger. So congratulations. Okay, anybody else want to say anything before we head out? All right. Listen.
I just wanted to say
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Just, so what I'm getting from this is that these blockages, I'm going to use the word that you don't
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
are like a lens that affects our intuition, and we're not even aware of the lens. So I see the exercise as just becoming aware of the lens.
Absolutely. My dad had cataracts. I've never had cataracts. They're like a film over your eye. You don't know. Like he's looking and I'm saying, Dad, what does it look like? He's like, I can't really, it's not clear. Things aren't clear. But the minute they take the cataract off and they put a brand new lens on there, he can see everything clear as day.
Right.
We're getting your spiritual cataracts cleaned up. All right, everybody. I'll see you in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, I expect to hear from you in the group.
Okay.
All right, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love you.